Hey everybody, welcome back. Long time no speak. We have been buried up here in the Midwest in storm after storm after storm. 20 below. I think the coldest it got up here in West Michigan, where I'm at, was a tick above 30 below. That was a cold night. Excuse me. It really was. Yeah, I mean, heaters honestly struggle in 30-degree weather. Or I'm sorry, negative 30-degree weather. Wind chill, it might have been colder than that. I think the ambient temperature was negative 28. And yeah, there was a wind. I don't know, might have been 10 miles an hour, so it might have been closer to negative 40. But, well, hope everybody's doing well. I think everybody's starting to feel the economic shift going on here in the country. Everybody's starting to feel like something ain't right, right? Had that feeling around COVID, before, after. Kind of people have those feelings, you know, hit and miss throughout the year and throughout the years as we've gotten deeper here into the 2000s now, 2026. Something ain't right, things ain't right. Yeah, see, you feel it, I feel it. But the purpose of the video here today is just kind of to talk about the monetary reset that's happening, inflation that's happening, inflation that's been happening, and it's going to get excessively worse. I know I've made some gold and silver videos. They get no views. Honestly. And it's okay. You know, it's just a little nothing channel. And to be honest, my videos aren't that good. This is almost just my thoughts. You know, one day down the road when I'm not here anymore, I'll have a YouTube channel that my kids can go back and watch and, you know, listen to their dad ramble. So anyways, but what's happening and what's going to happen with the continued printing, and it doesn't just seem like it, but it is. It's an open, outright, and I was supportive of Trump, right? I'm not a liberal in any stretch of the imagination. Look at my trucks, look at my home. You know, ain't no liberal living out here. They're just not. And if you are, if you are, you are. It ain't no big deal to me. But I'm just telling you, I'm not. And I supported Trump. I don't really like what he's doing. There's a lot of things I'm seeing that are kind of sleight of hand, and a lot of it has to do with the rapid devaluation of the dollar. Still supportive of getting the illegals out. You know, there's a lot of stuff I can be supportive of. But the rapid devaluation of our currency is something that I can't turn a blind eye to. There has been so much money printing, and it's so out of control. If you have any net wealth at all, folks, you asses had better be somewhere positioned. And I'm going to give you a few areas that, if you're not familiar with, you might want to familiarize yourself with. Gold and silver are one of them. Platinum's another one. I would say gold, silver in that order, or silver, gold, literally. I think silver will end up having a higher return, a little more volatile. Yeah, maybe. But I honestly think that there's a potential that silver could creep up into the single digits, like 10 to 1, 9 to 1, 8 to 1, 7 to 1. There's a lot of people out there thinks that silver might be able to get to a 1 to 1. I can't say one way or another. I don't know. I do know that the metal is substantially more scarce than gold. I do know that it's used in manufacturing processes, electronics. It's used pretty much throughout the globe, wherever conductivity is needed and necessary. So, and it gets burned up. Gold doesn't get burned up. Gold sits in bullion. Hardly ever gets used. Jewelry, a little bit of electronics and things, but nothing major. So silver is quite the commodity to hold, in my personal opinion. Oil and gas stocks. They're all they're all way down right now. Oil and gas stocks should be something y'all should be looking at. You know, most of them pay dividends. Oil and gas stocks, grains, different, grains, oats, things like that, commodities are going to have a place in the future. Big time. We're going through a monetary reset right now, which I believe is going to absolutely knock the American people on their asses. I watch many videos like you guys do, just trying to get the pulse of the country and see what's going on out there in the world. Because if you're not traveling all over hell, how do you get the pulse of the country? Well, you watch videos, you read. You're on social media, you're on Twitter, you're on YouTube. As am I. as we all are. And really, there's going to be a lot of people that end up homeless. There's going to be a lot of people losing their jobs here this year. 30,000 UPS employees just canned. Guys, the Belt and Road Initiative is real. And the Belt and Road Initiative is something that cuts out America out of basically the global commerce. The entire global, the way commerce is conducted in the globe is essentially going to cut out America. We've been nothing but a consumer nation. We don't produce anything, and all we do is consume. And we consume on debt. $38 trillion in debt, and they're getting ready to pass another bill that's going to pass another $5 trillion in debt. We can't even pay our debt. We are so close, so close. And I think 2026 is the year that the things happen. You know, everybody's heard, one day down the road, something bad's going to happen. I think we're in that year. My spidey senses tell me, and anytime I have the feelings and my instincts line up with things that I see going on in the world, we are very, very close. And I think this is the year that the Dow and the S&P and the markets, they pull the plug. And I don't think it's going to get pulled so much as it might just burst organically because it is so overinflated. Gold and silver should tell you that there's a major, major problem. If you know the way kind of economics work, those should be screaming at you that there's a major problem, and there's a reason why those two markets are flying sky high. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. And the mining stocks, the gold and silver mining stocks, the junior miners. You hold on to those for 3 to 5 years, you're going to get 10, 15x returns, maybe 20 in some cases. And that's no joke. But that would be assuming you would have money to put in there anyways that you didn't need to live. So that's understood. I understand that. So if you can get your hands on physical gold and silver, if you can start budgeting to put it away, get it in your hands, that's probably the safest bet you could be doing right now, because this run up in precious metals is not retail driven. Regardless what you hear, I'm in this market. Like, I watch this market daily, hours and hours and hours and hours a day, hours and hours a day. I follow it, read, reading everything, listening to everybody. So I really think, I really think this is the year, and people need to position themselves for some very, very rough times. Hyperinflation being one. Jerome Powell, I think, actually might excuse himself before April, before his term is actually up. I could see that happening, absolutely. And it is going to be an absolute free-for-all with the printing press once he's gone and Trump has his own, a yes man in there. Trump, I need $10 trillion. Okay, bang. What in the hell do you think that's going to do to prices? Nobody's working as it is. You gone to the grocery store at Tuesday at 2:00? It's packed. Nobody is working. There are people out at, I've had the luxury of having some freedom in my life. Being able to be out during the day. And I'm telling you, I've never seen people not working like I've seen today. Everybody knows the quality of service. Everybody is incompetent, top to bottom, across the board. Nobody cares. Everybody's throwing the towel in. Men are feminized. Men and women are fighting. There's an agenda to get men and women to hate each other, so the birth rates are dropping. People aren't getting married. People aren't having kids. Folks, this is we have got problem on top of problem. Catastrophic problems, too. The preppers of, 10, 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. God, I hope their storable foods are still edible, because I really, really fear that shit might be needed at some point. But 2026, guys, I think is going to be an extremely rough year. And the metals, they're not going to stop. These are global central banks and foreign nations buying this stuff. This is not retail driven. It's not. It is not mom and pop and you and I that is pushing silver to $121.50 today. Not doing that. Gold at almost $6,000. What does that tell you? The gold and the silver aren't worth any more. Our fiat paper is worth less and less, and it's accelerating at a rapid pace. That's what that should tell you. Hyperinflation. This happened in Venezuela. I've made videos about it. They ate, when Venezuela collapsed, they ate all the fucking animals in the zoo. Ate them all. Dogs and cats. Ate them all. Everything. There was no food. I mean, there's a reason why there's $1 billion bills, $1 million bills out there in foreign currency. Why is that? Because they weren't worth shit. The $100 US dollar bill, doesn't it seem like it's today's $20 bill, soon to be today's $10 bill? Doesn't it seem like when you break 100, it's gone because it is? So anyways, it's just kind of like I don't know. So a longer video than I usually do. Longer video than I usually post. I'm sure it won't get any views, but it's cool. If you made it this far, please give it a thumbs up. For shits and giggles. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe if you like ramblings from, regular everyday Americans. Yeah, it's kind of what I got. It was just sitting there thinking, like, man, I ain't cut a video in a while. Let me go out here and ramble. It's like 10 degrees. I'm cold. I am going to go out. I'm going to go back in the house now. Thank you, guys. As soon as this clears, we'll get back to some more trucks. We'll get back to some more stuff. I gotta finish this property here this spring, so I'll bring you along. We're gonna paint all these and really transform this joint. So if you're not subscribed, want to see that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and we'll talk to y'all later. See ya.